puppy fed. Let's see here. Rearranging my drink situation. Nursing my headache. What a day. All right. Let's take a look here. I had to rush eat after waking up late this morning. Yeah, so I get bad headaches if there's pressure change, which it looks like there's a low pressure front in my area, mixed with not having food until 12:30, 1 o'clock. So my head's kind of hurty right now. Grocery curbside. Oh man, I missed a fucking bell. Shit.
Casca もあいつのことが気に食わねえんだろ? やるってなら俺が手を貸す。
I need to get more lunch meat. I usually, like, if I snack, I do like a deconstructed sandwich type deal. I just don't like a lot of carbs, unless it's like sugar. So I usually like to snack on lunch meat and shit.
Griffith が決めたことだ。我々がとやかく言うことじゃない。
How are you doing today, Drew?
すかしやがって。
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I have enough. When I snack, I either have like fruit or I try not to have like a ton of chips or anything. But I'll have sugar and shit. But my preference is if I could just have like essentially the equivalent of a charcuterie board without having too much like complex carbs, then I hope I'm in the better. But typically my calorie count is like
Guts. ナイフ投げるのだいぶ上達したんじゃないか? 教えるやつがいいからな。だがやっぱ性に合わねえ。
No, I've gained weight since I've been up here. Well, since COVID, honestly. But I'm starting to do more kettlebell exercises again. That's fair. You know, hit whatever impediments that you can. Because a lot of times with ADHD, at least with me, it's not necessarily distracted. What is it called? It's at least I assume I would have it. The executive dysfunction or some shit. Where it's like I'll get distracted with other stuff. So I'm shit. I really need to take care of this, and then I'll get distracted with that, and then get distracted with that. And it's not really a distraction. It's just my list to do things and the order in which I do them is very disorganized. Or it's not typically, you know, the same thing as everybody else's. Oh really? With the elliptical that happened too? It's usually lower impact. Drinking alone too.
黙って飲んでてもつまんないよ。もっと盛り上がってよ。ガッツってば。
ガキがうるせえぞ。男には
That fucking sucks, dude.
飲みてえ時もあるんだよ。
コルカス、口ではああ言ってるけど、みんなで騒ぎたいんだよ。
Might be beneficial to see a foot person, not like a foot fetishist, but podiatrist.
昨日潰れちまったのがまずったな。たく最悪だぜ。
I can't remember if I listened to these on Thursday.
首は揉まない方がいい。
I did.
かえって悪くするから。首が痛い方の腕を後ろに上げてみろよ。へえ、 詳しいな。いろいろと器用なやつだぜ。
Oops. So, encounter with Tudor soldiers. The Midland Army and the Band of the Hawk come across Tudor soldiers while scouting. Even though he has barely recovered from his injuries, Guts rushes in. Yeah, we're just gonna do... Oh, you can unlock Zod for this? That's fucking so weird. I mean, I like the variety in gameplay, but...
やるっきゃねえよな。
Yeah, well, do what you need to do, obviously. It's always rough trying to be motivated to exercise or do anything whenever there's an injury involved. I've been doing that with my back and shit for quite some time, but honestly, it's been helping that I've been doing kettlebell swings and whatnot, because it's actually helping re-strengthen my core, and when it re-strengthens my core, it doesn't have my back basically straining in certain other areas. So I just need to do it, and I'm also wanting to go see like a chiropractor / physical therapist or something. I'm not gonna use any of this shit. It's fine. I want my back to be sorted so fucking bad. The King of Midland thinks very highly of Griffith, and the Band of the Hawk are invited to escort him and his on his autumn hunt. Oh, I remember this episode. This is a great honor with that many knights and nobles are not happy to see bestowed on the Band of the Hawk. Meanwhile, Guts could not shake the words Zod had left with him, or left him with. When this man's ambitions crumble, death will visit you. For now, Guts pledges his sword in service of Griffith. You need to get a 20 and a 30. I need to get, I think, another... Hey, don't bite that box or I'll beat your butt. You got bones right here. You best stop it. I need to get an equivalent kettlebell so I can do basically I can do like curls or whatever the fuck I want. It's going to be different swings essentially with both hands at the same time. I think it's like a 27-pound kettlebell. I can't remember how heavy it is. I just do it. I don't want to focus on weight. I want to focus on repetition and actually just doing my exercises, you know? How do I get off again? There we go. You motherfucker. Midland! Come here, bitch. Come on, Pippin. Okay. I'll do this. Thought I did I not? Time to get squirtin' with blood. With blood. Where's he at? Where's he at? Oh, is that you? Let me get the camera fixed on that. Get fucked, idiot. Oh, no, Rickard. I gotta go save Rickard.
こんなところで終われないよ。
Hold on, Rickard. Mission cleared. You little fuckers, I don't really care about. I want to unlock everything here. I think the Black Ram in the series had some pretty cool costumes. I mean, this guy's got pretty cool costumes too, but... Alright, let me get this real quick. Come on, now let's go save our little bud. Excuse me, pardon me. And we're gonna do this by going ape shit. Like this! I got you, Rickard. It's fine.
危ないところだったよ。
It was close. I do enjoy the like the cutscenes, or the I guess the it's not really an event. It's like a quick time. Come on, horse. Let's fucking go, dude. Sorry, hold on. I gotta kill this guy. Alright, cool. And then I'm just gonna run into these assholes because, like, who the fuck cares, right? Let's go! Fuck it! Just go in. Oh my god, this game is so fucking great. I love it. The reason why I love it is I think it does a pretty good job with the viscera of how Guts just handles people. Like he does in the mangers and the animus. Just fucking absolutely destroys people. It's great. Shield ring, ring of skill, maybe. Kettle hat. You'd never played a Muso game before? I used to play Dynasty Warriors, and that's really about it as far as like Muso games are concerned. Oh shit. Agu Des. Plus, this has cutscenes from basically the series.
男の方ってどうして血を流すのが好きなのでしょう。戦も狩りも。まあ。
姫様、ここをこう。
Shoot! It's so fucking dumb. Griffith though was pretty clever, and then like the demons came. It's like Griffith really had a really good. He manipulated a shit ton. I love the character of Griffith, especially before he became broken. Because he was such a clever and manipulative character. He did it all to get what he wanted.
怖かったんです、とっても。まだ心臓がドキドキいってます。
ドキドキ
少しは気が紛れたようですね。さあ、戻りましょう。みんな心配しています。
グリフィス！グリフィス！
ガッツ！
Whoops! Guts is like ready to fucking rip somebody apart.
Casca.
One man, too angry to die.
大丈夫なのか？触るなよ。多分毒が塗ってある。じゃあ、なおさら。いや、こいつが盾になってくれたんだ。
ハオの卵。
マジかよ。嘘だろ？そんなことあんのかよ。すげえ役。ありえねえ。
うわ。
並大抵の運じゃない。
奇跡だぜ。
俺は部下どもを連れてその辺の茂みをさらってみる。
グリフス、一応甲冑を脱いで。怪我してるかどうか。
Betrayal.
高くついたな。この毒を。
I need to watch the rest of this series. I just don't generally have the time anymore for it. Actually, I may soon. I may have some spare time coming up.
聞いたかよ。ニコルの野郎、惚れた女と結婚するために戦場で功を立てるって息巻いてるってよ。
Just for some
たか
chick.
が女のために。
たかが女って笑えるほどオタクモテてたっけ。
バカ野郎。俺はこのまま
Oh
行きゃ
fuck, that was good.
貴族にもなれる男だぜ。そこら辺の女なんぞに構ってられねえんだよ。
Fucking just calling Corcus out. Are you popular enough to be talking like that?
なんだリッケルト、鍛冶屋の仕事に興味があんのか。
鍛冶屋っていうか、ものづくり。仕掛けのあるもの全般かな。クロスボウを使うのも好きだし、もっと複雑で役に立つもの作ってみたいなーって。
グリフスはどこだ？話があんだが。
I mean, you're talking right
グ
to
リ
him
フ
on
スは
it
大
on the
臣たちと
screen.
謁見中だ。
Never mind.
終わってからにしろ。グリフスは貴族でミッドランド軍の騎士なんだ。お前みたいに剣振り回していればいいだけの人間じゃない。
Listen, you're not gonna be talking shit to me once we doink and you're in love, okay? Band of the Hawk has proven to be the strongest army in Midland. With a reputation of invincibility on the line, they must wipe out the Tudor army.
やるっきゃねえよな。
Let's see, is there anything else that I can buy? Enhance. I can enhance that shit, dog. I could probably sell some of this stuff, honestly. Ring of Strength, attack up. I like having technique up, but I also like having strength up. Maybe I should just buy... Yeah. Buy the extra stones. Because I really haven't bought anything. Equine! Black Ram insignia. Fuck those guys. They had good style, but fuck them. Eh, it's fine. I'm still doing okay, honestly. As the achievements of the Band of the Hawk grow, so does the jealousy of the nobles and knights. They do not like it when lowborns start working their way up. Spearheading the opposition was the King of Midland's brother, Count Julius. Meanwhile, Tudor tries to right itself under pressure from Midland. Seeing an opportunity, Griffith launches an attack. Oh, hey. Ah! Oh, hey. Oh, wait. Don't let him get away then. Done. Excuse me, gentlemen. This is why I just jump off. Whoa, what? Okay. Alright, that's one base. I'm just gonna collect bases along it. Get out of here, assholes. Ah, can't. Jump off. Come here, guys. Am I gonna have to save Corcus? Yeah. I will assist. Alright, that's one. Excuse me, guys. Shit. I've got to, like, help everybody because they're all stupid. That one fucking gets me every time, because you literally just lift a bitch up. Alright, that's another. I gotta go to that guy. Gaston's voice actor sounds familiar. I honestly don't know. What? Alright, so that one's gotten. Let's head down, let's take care of this one. Just gonna Excuse me, sir. It's the dumbest thing ever, but I love it. Alright, let's go. Fuck it. Anybody around me is gonna be fucking paced. Did he run? He fucking ran. What is happening here? Rickard, stop it. Horse, please. Whoa! Fucking A. I don't care. Bring them all here for me, please. Because this will happen. Anybody's who's alive? Who? One of them that ran away is alive. Just bullshit. Oh, see, I've never watched One Piece. That's another series that lasts like a long time, doesn't it? There we go. Get this fucker on the floor. A little bit dazed, aren't you? Sees a helmet fly off. Get out of here. I was about to start yelling for the puppy. She's right beside me. I didn't see her in her bed. And I was like, where the fuck is she? She's literally just right here. So I call her. Her nickname is my shadow because I am her mother. She has bonded with me. And that pisses Sky off.
この国の第二王位継承権者、白龍将軍、ユリウス伯爵。俺を言った矢には毒が塗られていた。王家によって代々暗殺に用いられてきた猛毒がな。これは汚い仕事だ。決して失敗も許されない。だからこそ、この仕事はお前に頼みたい。頼まれてくれるか。
らしくねえな。シノブの言わず命令すりゃいいんだ。いつも通りに。
Like, Guts is very similar to like Conan the Barbarian. Because this kind of shit is very Conan as well. Like, even though he used a big fuck sword, somehow he was still very sneaky and did shit like this. Do you? You're dead. He's not using his big fuck sword here, but still. Yeah, I know, it's like, pull up your fucking mask, idiot! They did this in the original too. Sorry, that was supposed to be dramatic. It's like, you're already in deep shit now, just fucking go. Honestly, this game isn't a bad like overview of the, was it the Golden Age or whatever the, I forgot what the first part of it is. First part of Berserk, the name. I always forget all the specifics.
さあ、シャルロット様。
まあありがとう。
待て。その格好で行くつもりか。グリフィスに恥をかかせるな。用があるなら二人の話が終わるまで待て。借りるぞ。
I do have to say, Casca is a real G. Golden Age, I think, was more like the middle at the time. Yeah, it's the way they skip around in time is kind of weird. Because I think they go kind of all over the place. Because even in the original story, they show you guts at like a current time frame, or at least the middle of the time frame, and then they go back and discover, or you know, through storytelling, they show how Guts became how he is through this storyline. The manga didn't. Oh, okay. I'm guessing the manga just started from the scratch. I'll probably pick him up. I mean, I'll probably get like an anthology booklet because I really enjoy it. I'm really sad it took so long for me to watch it.
人は夢に恋焦がれます。夢に支えられ、夢に苦しみ、夢に生かされ、そして夢に殺される。夢に見捨てられた後でも、それは心の中でくすぶり続ける。そんな一生を男なら、一度は思い描くはずです。夢という名の神の
I didn't tweet out, did I? Fuck me. Whatever. I'll do it here in a second.
そんな生き方、俺には耐えられない。すみません。
I always find it funny that Griffith's little soliloquy here that Guts overhears is what drives Guts to go do his own thing, but that fucking like drives Griffith off the edge. So this whole like arc with Griffith is hilarious because he did all of this to himself. How he gets tortured here, how it basically drives Guts away. Like, it's all him. He did it all. And then it's like, when he becomes Broken Griffith, or whatever the fuck you want to call him, he kind of, I think he kind of blames Guts for all of it. And it's like, no, it's kind of you that did that, dude. Then again, he's got like demon powers and shit, so who the fuck cares, I guess, at that point.
たとえそれがこの私でも私にとって友とはそんな対等のものだと思っています。
グリフィス様、あなたの夢って。
おじ上様がユリウス殿下がお亡くなりね。
何ですって？
暗殺です。お屋敷に何者かが忍び込んでご子息のアドニス様まで。城中大騒ぎです。晩餐会は中止してすぐ城にお戻りになるよう国王陛下からのご命令です。すぐ兵が到着します。早くお支度をなさいませんと。戻るぞガッツ。チューダーの仕業なら戦が。ガッツ
Fucking Guts, man. An angry man now with a purpose. Well, after he stops sulking. Like how Guts progressively matures from here till when shit hits the fan. Or after shit hits the fan. I enjoy it. Alright, I gotta tweet out real quick because I forgot. More Mad Lad Berserk. I kind of hate that Twitter is my go-to social platform. I've not done it right, and it doesn't do me right, so I don't know what to fucking do here. Let's find a Guts GIF. Man, I really wish instead of this, I say it time and time again, instead of the CG animation, I really wish they would have done just traditional animation for the newest rendition of Berserk. I think it looks so much better. Yeah, that would be awesome. That would be fucking sweet. If you do something like that, I will pay you $1. so I don't have to be like, oh shit, yeah. Because I mean, you could do that with Twitch, but right? Can't you tie in an announcement? But it's like, it's just your title. I don't know. It doesn't seem. There's a lot of stuff with Twitch that I don't prefer. What am I doing? Oh shit! What did I forget? Huh? Oh fuck. Oh yeah, I forgot Julius was a fucking asshole to his son. I'd want to pay you for other stuff though, Jerp. Regardless, I would still try to pay you for that.
剣を交わすほど俺はいつも必死だったガンビーノあんたに認めてもらおうといつも夢か思い出しちまうとはな
No, well, I mean, here's the thing, Jerp. Because of the fact that in this stream, like my Cannon Fodder stream, this was always like my personal thing, right? I don't think I could grow it simply because of the fact that I know I am very all over the place. I think if I did a D&D or like a tabletop RPG stream and got organized in such a way where, you know, it can be supported by good programming and things of that nature. Oh yeah, I mean that's with your stream stuff. Even still, like I don't care to help you because of the fact that it's, I don't know, you're a friend. Why the fuck am I gonna charge you? I'm not like that. I don't feel that way.
だから黙って飲んでちゃダメだってば。つまんないよ。いい加減盛り上がろうよ。
I'm gonna drink by myself. おい。
よかったな、盛り上がって。
What I need is if I have money to support that after I have to do some things anyway, but I would literally just pay for people to edit shit, but I want to get more things in order so I can have probably just a tabletop RPG channel. That I already have the name and stuff anyway for, but I'd much rather get that in order at this point in time where I could use my game system, my everything, but have it be a little bit more original and interactable. I've been thinking about doing another, it'll probably still be, well, no, I don't want it to be D&D. I really don't want it to be D&D. Long and short of it is, I had a really big internal debate with myself for the longest time about going back to D&D and using their system. And while I think 5e is pretty acceptable for what it does, there's still a lot of things that need to be flexible or that need some modifications. So what I'll end up doing is whenever I do run my next game with my setting that I have, I'd much rather it be my system, because then I don't know, I can change it, I can make it however I want, I could release at least the base system for free. You know, I feel like that is more appropriate, and I can have the creative control over it instead of everyone having this preconception of, well, this is D&D, this is supposed to be like this, or somebody in D&D in the D&D development camp does something stupid and hateful and very excluding, and then I have to deal with that in a very proxy way because of the fact that, you know, there may be like a racist, homophobic idiot or something like that. You know, I'd much rather have the product that everyone is playing with in-house, so that way if there needs to be changes to be more inclusive or be more sensitive to certain subjects, I can do that without having to be like, well, now I'm gonna have to jury rig it for some other system. I go through these thoughts about how I can make things more involved with everyone, because I want to do tabletop RPG days where I can include chat. You know, I can have chat participate and do things of that nature. So I don't know. It's I'm in a constant battle with myself about going over possibilities and making things more entertaining. Let's fucking murder people. The Midland Army sets up on a large-scale expedition. Guts and his companions depart for the battlefield with heavy hearts. The formidable soldiers of the Empire of Tudor, donned in their blue armor, await. It's super weird that you could play Zod. Oh. But no, I don't mind helping you out as much as I can, Jer. Right now, my job is just hell. We're understaffed, and I'm part of a procurement department, and the way things are being done right now are not really that great. So I'm trying to get everything in line, do vendor analysis, and plus helping other people's areas as well, which are kind of like side steps to my position, or like sister steps. It's just a pain in the ass right now.
シャルロット様。も
うお立ちになられるのですか？
ええ。行ってまいります。
私、 今度の戦ほど戦いを恐ろしいと思ったことはありません。グリフィス様、どうか
Berserker.
ご無事で。
はい。
Casca's like, this fucking... This hoe!
行くぞ。
She's probably more so thinking, this fucking child.
あ
How's it going,
出
Sen?
発
俺にとって友とはそんな対等のものだと思っています。対等のものか。
Tain't bad, huh? Tain't bad. Boop. Gotta make dinner and keep working on D&D stuff. I don't know how much of that you heard when I was talking to the stream Lester about like my system and wanting to change that thing. So I got my character sheet made, form fillable. I had to recreate it almost entirely through Adobe Acrobat, but it's workable and form fillable now, which is good. I had no idea that these are all different. Okay. I'm an idiot, but that's fine. So I'm wanting, basically the short and sweet is I'm wanting to run games, but I think I'm going to walk away from D&D 5e as a system because I want to have more control. And the premise would be because of the fact that I don't want other people, other companies having control over things like inclusivity. I'd rather much be at the spearhead of that. Start separating out and freezing some of the meat you bought earlier. What kind of meat did you buy? Meat. I gotta upgrade some of this other stuff. What is this? Increases the amount of damage done to stunned enemies. Oh yeah, I did look up that earlier, didn't I? Rang of strength. Maybe I should use... Ooh. Range up. Oh. Yeah, let's do that. So yellow is pretty... Dookie Brown. I've had to start a whole side campaign because of my two of my players haven't been able to play. Oh, that sucks. Chicken, steak, and ground beef. Chicken, I think this household is probably going to be eating more chicken and fish. But I like steak, but I also like cows. I'm not turning total vegan, but you know, chickens to me are dumb enough where I can like skirt off the idea of them being lovable, I guess. I don't know. I'm such an asshole. I found two others who are really into it though, so we're gonna fold them in. Oh, that's cool. You mother shucker. That's awesome. Chickens are also angry bastard dinosaurs. That's true. That's fucking true. Anyway, I would like some opinions on, I guess, the future plan that I have for possibly doing some... I actually do want to do it. I've been missing running some stuff here and there. Once I get my system in a comfortable place, and of course there's going to have to be revisions and whatnot, what I plan on doing is taking regulars and probably either in one location or another that I have in my setting, stationing everybody in that area and then just cycling in and out players, because they'll all have like a common tie to like in the campaign that I was running for everybody online, it was like the main human city or whatever, and they had Solace Salvage, which is kind of like a mercenary reclamation group. Everybody could work out of that, like something like that would be good. I want to boost that Mo. Man, yellow is where it's at, isn't it? I'm gonna swap them out for this for right now. Yeah, alright, cool. Yeah, no, not a problem. I'm still trying to build, well, I haven't touched it in a while, but I'm going to build out that other Gilded as well chat program to see what I can do to, and see what kind of updates they've done. I just haven't been able to tackle it because of work. Take over 2 enemy forts before Griffith does. Defeat all them. Defeat add-on before any of the allies flee. Okay, so I could probably do the enemy forts and the ambush troops. Let's go for it. A friend must be someone I can call an equal. Griffith's words stayed with Guts. They were a great blow to Guts, who had chosen to pledge his sword to Griffith. The Midland army embarks upon a large-scale campaign. The band of the Hawk once again departs for the battlefield. And waiting for them, donned in their blue armor, are the formidable soldiers of the Empire of Tudor. Alright, son. Have good food. Eat well.
部隊を分けて進行する。ガッツ、お前は向こうの砦だ。キャスカはリッケルトを連れて森の紹介に当たれ。
森？きっと何かあるんだね。
Got one.
隊長、本隊より先に砦を落としまいましょう。
こりゃ乱戦だな。
あ、森に敵が隠れてるよ。グリフィスには分かってたんだね。
制圧完了だ。本体が遅れているようだな。
I got everybody? Yep.
ユリウス殿下さえご存命なら、我が軍は翼の片方をもがれた形だ。これで
Go, 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 go. Fuck you, Griffith. I gotta get another base.
キャスカ、どうしたの？調子悪そうだよ。問題ない。気にするな。
Got him.
こんな時に。
Excuse me, guys. You're fine here.
押されてる。キャスカがいんのになんて様だ。
So I have to spam my abilities. Here we go. Time to explode.
出来上がれ。
大丈夫かキャスカ。お前はグリフィスのところで休め。
分かった。後のことは頼む。
All right, excuse me, guys. Why are you retreating? I fucking... Motherfucker.
よし。俺はここで指揮を取る。
Kiss my ass. This is a competition. We're not equals. I'm fucking winning.
ミッドランドに遅れを取るなど。
You
このアドン
motherfucker.
が出てやろう。
Damn it. The Chode Empire. That's solid. Shoulder Empire. Perfecto. Oh, hold up.
よし、ジュド。俺たちは次の作戦に移ろう。
Bye. It's gonna go to the middle now. Come here, you fucking dum-dum. I tried to sprint, or to dash. Alright, fuck you, dude. Oop. Remember that idiot from the show. Ikuma show. Oh. Yeah, alright, hold on. I'll get him in a second. Fuck me. Catapult. Catapult. Don't worry about it. I'm going. Alright, hold on. Let's get this fucking moron before we go. Yeah, I'm coming. I'm coming. You're fine. You're fine. Ah, I just missed it. Oh, fuck that. I'm gonna finish off this guy. I love just the impaling him one and then just like. Horse, please. You know what? Fuck it. God, he got fucking duked on. So good, and it's like so good and so bad. All right, let's go get Adon again because he's a shitter. No. care. Oh, you dirty bitch.
貴様らの本陣はこのアドンがいただいた。後ろを取られただと。急いで体勢を立て直せ。
そう、このままじゃ総崩れだ。
I'll be there in a second.
甘いんだよお前ら。
グリフィスはみんなお見通しだよ。
Really?
何？ミッドランドも伏兵だと？
There we go. Alright, I'm coming. We're gonna come back. Can't break through this, can I? I got my super mad lad powers right now. Oh, good job, Griffith. Just stand there. It's fine. No, come on, hop off. I just love how the sound becomes so fucking distorted. The sheer amount of like death that you just fucking shit out. It's great. I'm going to. Hey, friend. The swooshing sound is reminiscent of the difference between Devil Joe and less angry creatures in Monster Hunter. Yeah, kinda. You fucking piece of shit. Come here, you fucking a-holes. Feed my pissed off-o-meter. I'm coming, Casca. Don't you fucking flee on me. Oh. Oh yeah, I forgot about this.
女の分際で騎士の真似事などしよって、その仙人長の地位もあのグリフィストやらの人根に潜り込んで手に入れた。
Oh shit!
女の身でありながら戦場という男の聖域に踏み込んだ浅はかさ。この聖芸超重装猛進撃滅騎士団団長アドン様が知らしめてくれるわ。いや、そら。どうした、そこまでか。
Fuck all of you. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Come here, you fucking piece of shit. Let's go again. Come on. This is why I go for technique. Why do you like? Why? Why not? The fuck out of here, Adon, you piece of shit. Hey, vanilla lake.
よくぞ受けたなこそ。だがまぐれは二度続かん。我がこぼる一付140年にわたり伝承されし戦争術最大奥義食らえ岩山旋風
岩山旋風何よ。どうした。
Sometimes technique struggles against a big fuck sword.
Oi! Casca! Oi! しっかりしろ。しまった。
I really don't know why that the fucking Band of the Hawk just literally didn't murder Adon right there. Just fucking kill him. Just kill him. Uh-oh. Bye. There may be titties. If there's not titties soon, there will definitely be titties when the fucking blood moon or whatever happens. I forgot what the hell they call that. It's part of the game. Yeah, the eclipse, that's what it was. Oh, they changed the scenery too. Alright, give me a sec. I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick. Berserk's got... Berserk is way rougher in general. Where you going, girl? doing? Little shit. Little puppy shit. Little puppy shit. Come here, little puppy shit. Come here, little puppy shit. You're not so little. You're getting bigger. You're getting so big. You gonna cam whore for me? Hmm? Are you gonna cam whore for me? Yeah. 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 Puppy stream. Oh, look at her puppy. She acts so innocent, but she's not. She's a little fuckhead. Right? Huh? What's the matter? Why are you rubbing your puppy nose on my neck right now? Which is totally gross. Huh? Alright. Put you in your bed. Kick your bun. You gotta pee on the pad for right now. Your bladder's no bigger than mine. Puppies are great when you don't have to own them. Yes. Fucking 100%. When you can give them back, she'll stop being a puppy at some point in time. Hopefully. Mate. Uh, 11, 12 weeks. She's still really young. Puppy breath, puppy teeth, puppy bladder. This is like this, by the way. Like the frame rate is like this on purpose for dramatic effect. Kill that bitch. Toss his body off a cliff.
Yo.
ここ
川っぺりの洞窟さ、運よく川に落ちたんで助かったんだ。
川
Side boob.
おいバカ、まだ横になってろ。熱が下がりきってねえんだからよ。しょうがねえだろ。ずぶ濡れでおまけに凍えかけてたんだからよ。なんだよその目は。ほら。お前、うわっ何すんだてめえ。てめえいい加減に。てめえいい加減にしやがれ、この悲惨女。こっちは死ぬ思いでてめえを川から引きずり上げたんだぞ。女じゃなかったらぶん殴って顎外してるところだぜ。
Fucking guts.
たくすぐ頭に血が上りやがって。俺だから女には戦仕事は向かねえっつうの。
Oh shit!
私だって好きで女に生まれたわけじゃない。情けない。お前だけには助けられたくなかった。お前だけには
まだ体が随分と嫌われたもんだぜ。たく。
Fucking just hauling her naked ass around like it's nothing. Ah, fuck it.
グリフィスに会ったあの日から全てが変わった。私は今でも長い夢を見続けているような気がする。あの人の隣にいたい。あの人の夢を成し遂げるために欠かせないものになりたい。その願いが叶えられると信じていた。信じることができた。あの日、お前が現れるまでは覚えているか。
お前は死んでる。
あの日、あの丘の上でグリフィスがお前にかけた言葉。
お前が欲しいんだ、ガッツ。
グリフィスは誰にもあんなこと言いはしなかった。今まで誰にも。なぜだ。どうしてお前でなければならないんだ。どうして。私があの人の剣になりたかったのに。
そうか。それがお前の夢か。追ってだ。
Time for murder. I need to adjust my cam fades. Give me a second here. I want to see something. I want to try this real quick. Nope. Fucking nope. I think it's just, well, whatever. I'll deal with it later. I was hopeful that I could fix it real quick. All right. You have the camera set to shut down. Yeah, I do, because it was giving me problems. Yeah, now that you mention it. Because it's a cheap camera for right now. White stone. Yeah. I don't think I have no more yellow stones. Should I just fucking fuck it? Break through this encirclement without depleting Casca's vitality. Escort Casca to the escape point. Defeat 1,000 enemies before engaging Adon, and then kill Adon. We'll see what happens. After suffering a cowardly attack by Adon, Guts and Casca fall off a cliff into the river below. The two manage to crawl out of the river alive, but Casca is suffering from hypothermia. Guts, returning an old favor, warms Casca's shivering body with his own. Casca tells him of how she joined the Band of the Hawk, and then asks Guts why he fights. Guts cannot give her an answer, and there is no time for further thinking. The blue whales have caught up with them. Time to fuck. Let's go. Let's go.
もうくたばってんじゃねえのか。死体でも報奨金は出すってよ。
Even for corpses.
正面突破は無理だな。
騒がれる前に倒すしかねえな。
So quiet. Shh, 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 shh. Casca, what are you doing? This is guts. I'm going to kill you all. Kill you all. It's not bad. It's fun. It's so fun.
お前に何がわかる？
What do I know? I know everything. I'm the gutsman.
分かってんのよ。お前の女の都合で足止め食うわけにはいかねえってことだ。
Women issues.
お前が女だろうがどうだろうが、敵さんには関係ねえんだぜ。
Casca, why are you?
片付いてる。
Where are you guys going? Fuck. How are you, Brown? Oops. Casca, where are you going? You should be following me, you dumb. It does make you feel like the gutsman.
見つけたぞ小僧。かかれ。
Get him. Yeah, fuck it. Let's go.
あんたも元気そうだな、おっさん。
貴様はただでは殺さんぞ。我が小ぼろいつけ200年にわたり伝えられし拷問術。悶絶100年殺しで。この世の地獄を
This game does a pretty good job of making you feel like you can murder just about anything in this.
この場で傭兵どもの餌にしてやる。
キャスカ、いけそうか。
これ以上貴様の世話にはならん。
No, Casca, I must save you.
どうやらその女をかばって受けた焼きず、まだ癒えてはいないようだな。
So they're talking shit.
俺がチャンスを作る。そしたら一気に駆け抜けろ。
I'll create a diversion. I'll murder them all. There's my diversion. I mean, I think that's a real good diversion, right? Enemy soldiers were defeated.
よし、今だ。キャスカ走れ。
Run!
おのれ！逃がすな！女は俺がいただくぜ。
Let me just go ahead and clear out all your friends here. Yeah, fuck it, whatever. Temporarily retreated. Typical. What the heck, guys? Just go ahead and murder that guy. I don't know when I'm gonna hit the amount of people I need to kill before I have to fight Adon. I don't know. God. Casca, are you gonna come this way or? Get over here, douche. Screw it. Excuse me, gentlemen. I need to run up here for a moment. And then I'm gonna do this. There we go. I don't know the abilities of all the other characters, but I like how Guts is pretty impactful. Makes you feel like a big, strong American man or woman or person. This fucking officer. Look at this guy. Get the fuck out. He tried to like sucker punch me. You can 100% leave me alone. It's fine. That's pretty accurate. Guts uses his signature move. Fucking splatter. Just walk around them. Just Casca, walk around them. Give me your money. Give me your money. Oh, whatever. Yay! Alright, let me fight this nerd. I don't give a shit. How many do I have to kill? There we go. Bonk. Oh, you're mercenaries. They're so strong. That's fine. Bonk. Bonk. Splatter. Whee! It's such a good stress relief, right? I really don't have to do too much for these guys, just because there's.
奴は立っているのがやっとだ。一気に畳み込め。何やってんだよ、俺は。
Oh hey, he picked me up.
安っぽく。
All right.
命あって。今は考えてる暇はね。今あるのは。
Bye.
どう切るか、どう殺すか。それだけ。それすらいずれ頭の中から消え去る。そして心臓の鼓動だけに。
The soliloquy. Jesus, I'm going through these guys super easy. Don't run away from me. Don't run away from me. I have anger issues. Oh hey, come on. Is he coming down? There we go. Summon the followers. Well, now I gotta earn up my Mad Lad juices. I mean, Adon may have countless victories, but what really is a victory for him? Probably running away. And in an anime, I'm going for the Mad Lad with a sword every single time. Every single time. Sword go bonk. Fuck you, dude. Oh, I thought I'd walk right by him. Oh no, not the twirly, shitty, whatever the hell that was. Fucker. Alright, let's do this. And we'll end it right. I like, they always used to say that the sword was more blunt than anything, right? It's not even fucking sharp. It's just a big metal fuck you.
Oi, やべえんじゃねえのか。
ガッツ、おい、死ぬなって言ったろ。お前は私との約束を破るのか。ガッツ。
うっせえな。ゆするんじゃねえ。傷にしみんだろうが。
鷹の段に100人斬りのガッツありだな。
100人斬りガッツ隊長。
I still don't know if this one would be sharp. Sure. I don't think so. With the type of shit that normally Guts does, I still don't think that this one would be sharp. Oh no, is that the naked fucking Griffith scene that it's revealing? Where he's like bathing or something? I fucking... Also, he's carrying it on his shoulder and it would cut up. That's true. Yeah, he always carries it blade side into him. It's not like it's like he's got the flat side. He's got to look cool. You know, the camera always has to catch it.
Guts,
What's up, Tico?
気にすることはねえよ。お前がやってることに比べりゃ、俺が切り合うなんざ大したことじゃねえんだ。
それはどういう？
お前もグリフィスもそうさ。生きてることを丸々かけちまうほどのもんを持ってる。だがよ、俺が行き当たりばったりで100人と切り合おうが。
Yeah, it's a Muso game with you know some boss fights and stuff. It's been pretty fun so far.
吹けば消えそうな小さな夢を持ち寄って。
You can play different characters throughout the missions too. I've just been sticking with Guts because, you know, Guts.
ここに俺の火はね。俺はそのかがり火にちょいと温まってフラッと立ち寄っただけなのかもしれねえ。
ガッツ。
俺は物心ついた時には戦場にいた。俺を育ててくれた傭兵団のボスは剣の振り方以外何も教えちゃくれなかった。死にたくねえって理由だけで、こいつを振り回すことしか知らねえってだけで、俺は戦をやってきたんだ。そして何より一番肝心な戦うわけってやつを、俺はいつも他人に預けようとしてたのかもしれねえ。
ガッツ、お前、まさか鷹の段をやめるつもりじゃ。
I've gotta find my own path. You can go your own way. Hey, puppy. Did you pee your shit on that pad? Give me a second. I'm gonna see how shitty this slows me down. It may have just been a... Is that a Moogle? It's, their name is Puck. It's after shit hits the fan. After the eclipse happens. You start to see more of Puck. Man, I almost got all these. Whatever, that's fine. Impregnable fortress Doldry. And guarding it is General Baskung, leader of the Holy Purple Rhino Knights. Against the strongest battle array of Shooter, the Band of the Hawk strikes a desperate assault. Oh, this is an event? Although Puck does look like a Moogle, or yeah, a Moogle Mog. Puck was a really weird addition to me. It just seemed kind of off.
Casca, お前に話しておこうと思っ
But
て
they
さ。
rationalized it, I
お
guess.
前たちを探しに捜索隊を出すようグリフィスに進言しに行った時、周りの貴族たちがなんやかやと随分反対したんだ。でもグリフィスは言ったぜ。きっぱりと。
あの二人は鷹の段の要です。失うわけにはいかない。
グリフィスが。
ああ。
Griffith
大
Sama.
したもんだよ。あいつにそこまで言わせるんだから。正直少し焼けた。それからこれ、100人斬りの大将に塗ってやんな。
粉、薬？
俺がその昔働いていた旅芸人の一座に一匹のエ
Chibi
ル
Puck
フがい
is
てね。
nearly,
そいつが
well,
また
yeah,
気
but
のいいやつ
I
で
don't know.
さ、俺が事故で大怪我をした時にそれをくれたんだ。エルフの粉。
Elf dust.
エルフ？
You just snort it, cut it into a line.
ほんとさ。ま、今のご時世、信じてるやつも少ないけど、いるんよ、ほんと。
Just
信じよ
take
うと
take
信
a
じまい
dagger,
とどっち
cut
で
it
もいい
into
け
a
ど、
thin line.
ただ、その粉の効き目は折り紙付きだぜ。俺は戦場でも、それで何度か命を拾ってる。 そいつで最後なんだけど。
そんな大切なものを。
Well, I think
薬
in the
一袋
anime
で
they try to
100人の
rationalize
兵
it
隊が手に
as
入ると
what's up,
思え
bro?
ば
What do you need?
随分と安い買い物だぜ。
Why don't you lay down? They try to rationalize it as
ありがとう。
obviously Guts can immediately see Puck because of the fact of the shit that he went through, and everybody that has gone through something similar, or at least open their eyes to the different side of, you know, what the world was experiencing, they can actually see that other things existed out there. They're basically like insight from Bloodborne. Once they knew that something else was out there and that there are things that go bump in the night that are fucking horrid, they could start to see things like Puck. I mean, it's been it's been around for a little bit. Puck doesn't normally look like that. Well, I guess it has two forms.
ガッツが高野団に入団する前のこと。数えきれないほどの戦死者の中で、グリフィスは名も知らぬ兵卒見習いの少年の亡骸を見つめていた。
戦場におもちゃか。よっぽど騎士に憧れていたんだろうな。こいつのことはよく覚えている。まるで物語の主人公でも見るような目で俺を見つめていた。
You're the villain,
こいつは
Griffith!
幸せだったろうか。夢の途中で夢を見ながら行けたのだろうか。それとも死は夢の終わり、絶望だったのか。この子を殺したのは俺の夢なのかもしれない。
かける言葉が見つからなかった。
I think you said you were in the process of buying that house, right, Rev?
グリフィスが
That's
少し
awesome,
ずつ違って見え始めた。
You'll have to send pictures and not dox yourself, obviously. Just send it through like Discord or
グ
something.
リフィスがゲノンと共にいるところを目
I'm happy
撃
you
して
guys
し
got
ま
a
った。
house.
どうしてグリフィスがあんなやつと。
金だよ。
You'll have a lot more room,
軍隊というのはただそれだけ
and
で
you'll
も
probably
金
be
を食う。
paying similarly
高野
to
団はこれからま
rent,
だまだ大き
honestly.
くなる。そのためにも必要な
Oh
の
shit,
さ
you can control the camera?
莫
What
大
the
な
fuck?
軍資金が。あの老人はどうやらこの俺がお気に
I
召し
didn't
たよ
even
う
know you
だ
could
し
do that.
俺は彼の財産に興味があった。利害が一致したってことさ。
Holy fuck. Yeah, that's a
そんな。
3,100 square
戦場
feet.
に出るという
What the
こと
hell
は
were you paying for that?
それだけ多くの部下を失うということだ。
グリフィス、もしかしてあの子のことで。
違うよ。俺は合理的に考
I
え
mean,
たので
that's
さ。
I can't really say much.
戦場に
I
出て
guess.
部下を失うことと、老人一人たらし込むのと、
I don't know
ど
what
ち
the
らの
market
リ
looks
スク
like
が
near
少
you.
ないか。俺はね、
Probably,
キャスカ。
you're probably paying for less. Not a bad price. Yeah, no, that's a pretty good price for the
責任を
size.
感じてはいないよ。
At least
でももし、
where I'm at.
あいつらのために、死者たちのために、俺に何かしてやれることがあるとしたら、
Sky and I have about 2,000 square feet, but we pay
しが
more.
みついた俺の夢を成し遂げるために、勝ち続けることだ。俺の夢は、あいつらの屍の上に立つことでしか実現できない。所詮血塗られた夢だ。そのことで、後悔や後ろめたさはない。だが、何百何千の命をかけながら、自分だけは汚れずにいられるほど、それほど、俺の欲しいものは、たやすく手に入るものではないんだ。
グリフィスは強かったんじゃない。強くなければならないんだ。
Griffith Sama. Senpai. San-chan. San. Alright,
やるっきゃねえよな。
I think this guy... Yeah, I can't remember. I thought this guy is the one that, like, does something about, what's his face? That previous cowardly knight that we murdered. Well, that sucks. Ooh.
なんということだ。誰一人取り付けんとは。恐るべしドルドレイ。
The rhinos.
再生騎士団だ。ボスコーンが来るぞ。
Bye. Just shitting on people.
いつまでも戦力を割く余力はない。このまま長期戦になればおのずと。いやはや悠長な。ドルドレイはチューダー最後の共闘法。奴らを駆逐し、この100年戦争を終結させるのは今置いて他ありません。さよう。これは千載一遇の好機ですぞ。いや、しかし。これ以上遠征が長引けば、再度戦費調達の必要に迫られます。度重なる課税に民衆の不満が高まるのは避けられません。
今回ばかりはお手上げでしょうな。
ご命令とあらば。
いや、それも致し方ないこと。いかに戦の申し子と歌われようとも。
陛下のご命令とあらば。大軍はいりません。鷹の段のみで当たらせていただきます。
今、なんと白虎騎士団すらやられたのだぞ。
気は確かですか。たかだか5000の騎兵で3万の敵を相手にするのですよ。
バカバカしい若造のたわごとだ。この100年、歴代の名将が叶わなかったドルドレイ攻略を鷹の段だけで果たせるわけがない。グリフィスよ、まことなのだな。
Can you do this, Griffith? Are you DTF?
鷹の段にドルドレイ攻略を命ずる。
Give me everything. Griffith is such an ambitious character. Actually, keep me out of here.
決まったよ。ドルドレイは鷹の段で叩くんだって。
ドルドレイ？希代の名将大将が攻めてもこの100年落ちなかった難攻不落の要塞だぞ。
すでに先発の白虎騎士団は壊滅したらしい。
おいおい、それで無理な仕事を押し付けられたってことかよ。
いや、グリフィスが名乗り出たようだ。
何？
でかい戦になるようだな。けど心配はいらねえよ。あの冷静沈着なグリフィスが決めたことだろ。
冷静でいられればいいのだけど。
何？
昔、鷹の段は地方貴族の領地紛争に参戦したんだ。その貴族は資産家だったが、悪趣味で有名だった。目にかなった少年ばかりを集め、従者としていたんだよ。子供はみんな、うつろで怯えるような目をしていたさ。ある晩、私は見てしまったんだ。グリフィスが奴といるところを。
冗談だろ。あのプライドの塊みたいなやつが。
グリフィスは勝つために何でもするんだ。自分の采配で死んでいった者たちにせめてできることだって。
そんな。で。
Yeah, wow, I was gonna say, if you've not seen Berserk, Tickle, yeah, it's kind of fucked. Well, even that part's kind of fucked.
チューダー帝国北方戦線
Pretty sure Griffith murders that dude.
ゲノン。それが奴の今の肩書きだ。
Yeah, it's kind of fucked. The whole series is kind of fucked. Do I really want to change out anything here? Vitality. Yeah, I think so. And Griffith has like a talk about it. They don't show anything. They just talk about how Griffith was, I guess, abused by him in some way, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I watched the original. The whole series is just fucked. It's like everybody's fucked up in one way, shape, or form. Casca was raped. And then Griffith obviously gives her a sword to defend herself. Like, Guts was birthed from a hung mother, as in like hung from a tree or some shit, or dying mother, and basically abused all the way up to, well, fucking adulthood until he killed his adopted father. Like, everybody's just fucked up in this damn series. Alright, well, I'm just gonna go ahead and... Oop, no, not equip. I'm gonna buy all the stones that I can get. But isn't that what makes it great? I mean, it's the idea that, especially from the point of view of Guts, it's that you, with your dedication, you persist through, fuck, even death itself, really. Ooh. Holy shit. There's a lot of stats on that. Is that Bob? Is that Robert Barker? Your name can't be seen through fucking dark mode on Twitch. This is in English? Not the voice acting. Voice acting has all been in Japanese. Me speaking is in English. Because I don't know Japanese. Yeah, let's just waste it. You wanted to play this like 30 years ago? You can play it now. They recently had it on sale on Steam. Wait, do I have a different horse yet? Oh yeah, I do have. Yeah, let's keep that. That's fine. Alright, 300 enemies. Rescue Corcus. Destroy all catapults. Alright. Fortress of Doldry was once one of Midland's frontland bases, but it was taken by Tudor, an act that marked the beginning of a long war spanning over 100 years. Midland has launched countless attacks against Doldry in attempts to take it back, but General Bosquung, renowned for Tudor's most formidable warrior, known as, has decimated all advances. Griffith is charged with the taking back Doldry, and so the Band of the Hawk launches a desperate attack against the impregnable fortress. This is Steam. Yeah, this is on Steam. It actually runs pretty well.
どっから攻めろってんだよ。
後ろは断崖絶壁。最新式の大筒がおよそ20門。
You're gonna hear squeaking now. This isn't part of the battle. Hold on.
しかもあの司祭聖騎士団もいるんだよね。
勝てますよね、俺たち。
ガッツ？
え？ 何チートばかし城がでかいだけだって。いつも通りグリフィスの言うようにやりゃ勝てる。あ
That's exactly what's happening right now. Sorry. She's going ham on a squeaky toy, so.
貨幣をさらに2つに分けたというのか。面白い。受けてやろう。先方出撃。敵第一陣を壊滅せよ。
So yeah, thankfully this runs really well, to be honest. It's not something that I've really encountered many hiccups on, or... Let's just go and... Alright, oh shit. Alright, let me jump off. Hold on, I gotta kill this guy first.
この旗の下で剣を振るのは多分これが最後だが鷹の段切り込みたい隊長としてのけじめだけはきっちりつける。
Shit, I thought that would hit him. There we go. Yeah, this runs really well. I've only had one crash, but I think it was just due to like some kind of cutscene error, but they do suggest putting it into Windows 7 like compatibility mode. I really haven't had much problems out of it. Artillery officer, eh? Oh, no. This is what we're gonna do, huh? Alright, cool. Just gonna eliminate as much as I can, but I'm gonna have to press forward, I think. There we go, good. Onward, horse! Just hop off. Defeat the enemies and help Corcus. You idiot, Corcus! Fucking A. Where's he at? Come on. Time to explode, everyone! This game is fucking great, just for that one. Here we go. Fucking destroyed. Ah.
まずは見事
They do a really good job of like cutting in and out too.
全軍出撃敵第一陣を撃滅せよ
Alright, I'm not worried about these guys. Alright, assist me. Oh, I gotta kill him. You dirty bitch.
こいつやるさっさと剣をつけねえとやべえ
良い手駒を持っている石の者に立て直すとしよう
I'm just gonna spam the relevant shit out of this. What? He ran away? Souls, come unto me. Fucking nightmare. You. Fucking whatever. Like, it's like everything, just whatever. Everything's dead. I need to kill these things. All of these things. Oh, squeakers! She found the squeakers again. Fuck it, let's just clear it out. Yeah, if you want a good Muso game just to murder and you enjoy Berserk, this has actually been really fun. Do I have to? Give me a second. I just gotta make sure everything is okay here. Shit, I'm gonna have to. Alright, let's just take care of it quick. I'm coming. Maybe. Shit. Get the fuck off your horse. What are you doing, girl? Eh? What are you doing? What? Time to go. What am I doing? Mission cleared. Got it. That's what I wanted to do. I just want to decimate all of them.
何をしておるボスコーン将軍。敵は敗走していくぞ。みすみす勝機を逃す気か。
ああ、しかし。
皆にすげん。敵対将、白い鷹のグリフィスを捕らえた者には思いのままの褒美を取らす。ただし必ず無傷で捕らえるのだ。よいな。
Yeah, that's the pedo.
総督、そのようなことを軽々しく約束されては兵どもの抑えが。
ボスコーン将軍、大義であった。今よりはこのゲノンが指揮を取る。飛行だ。司祭聖騎士団は友軍と共に鷹の団を追撃し、速やかにグリフィス卿を捕らえよ。
やむをえん。これより敵追撃を
I'm gonna have to walk all the dogs after this. Creepy looking shit.
Are 全部相手にしようっての俺たち。陣形を整えろ。
Look at Pippin.
逃げ場はない。命を捨てろ。それ以外に生き残る道はない。生き残れば俺たちの勝ちだ。
Everybody looks so cool. Alright, I'm going. Bye. I gotta murder people. Alright, all of you. Come on, gather up, please. Oh, you motherfuckers. I've got to, stop! Don't bite my toes, puppy! Oh, you motherfucker, Adon. Here we go. Gather them all up. It's fine. What happened, guys? What happened? Oh, hold up. There's more here? Come here. Dick. No, we're just gonna get off. Come on. Let's go. This is why I just, like, specialized in technique. Wait, he's strong? Really? I couldn't tell.
奴は巨大な恐怖そのものだった。
何をしておる。まだグリフィスを捕まえることはできんのか。
すごい。これでは近づいたら剣風に巻き込まれるぞ。
Split him in fucking half. That's so good.
ボスコン。うろたえるでない。数で勝るは我が王。各隊陣形よ。
Gotcha. Nani?
まだわかんねえのか、ボケ。大将はくたばった。城は落ちた。隣は決まってんだろ。開けたら。
Yeah, a long ass time.
勝ち時をあげろ。待ってました。
Corcus, you dummy. Fucking run this guy through. Please? Hey, stop it! Don't chew on that. Holy crap. She's chewing on an AC duct.
Oh, グリフィス、待ち焦がれたぞこの時を。さあ、よく見せてくれその顔を。その目だ。あの時と少しも変わらぬその眼差し。どうした？なぜ黙るのだ？敵味方に分かれたとはいえ、片時もお前を忘れたことはなかったぞ。いつもお前の影ばかりのグリフィス。なぜそんな目で見る？まさか恨んでおるのか、このわしを。
お恨みなどしていませんよ、閣下。むしろその逆です。あなた一人を垂らし込むことで何百人もの部下を養うことができた。危険な戦場に送ることなく、あなたは我々の命の恩人ですよ。
グリフィス、お前は。
私の夢にすがる部下に対し、私ができることはただ一つ、勝ち続けることです。そのために手段は選びません。あなたはそんな私の歩く道端に転がっていたただの石ころです。
貴様。
Right in the face. What are you doing, bro? Victory! Gutsman! Nothing that looks special. I need to start selling. Ooh, death blow power. Yeah, well, no, I want other things on that. That scene that they're referring to. Look at Pippin. Fucking Corcus finally gets a girl.
こりゃすげえや。どうです隊長、手の一つでも振ってみちゃ。あんたって今回のヒーローなんですから。隊長、どうしたんすか？
What?
またぼーっとして、ここんとこ元気ないみたいですけど。
そんなことねえよ。こんなの3年前には誰も考えなかったよな。
ほんとっすね。
俺の国を手に入れる。
Oh my god, Debbie is barking. We'll take a small break after this cutscene. Arigato. I'm gonna walk all the pups after this. Oh, this scene.
皆の者、長きにわたる試練の歳月、誠に大義であった。心から礼を言うぞ。皆も知っての通り、この勝利はグリフィス教を率いる鷹の団の活躍によるところが大きい。この100年、不可能と言われ続けたドルドレイ攻略を彼らはその類まれなる勇猛果敢さで成し遂げたのだ。よって世はグリフィス教と鷹の団に白鵬騎士団の名を与え、千人長諸君には例外なく騎士の称号と爵位を与えようと思う。
おお、白鵬将軍。
白鵬騎士団ですって。まあ。
Guts is just like, what the fuck ever.
バカな、これではますます奴らが。
やっぱり夢じゃねえ。俺たち貴族なんだ。
Ugu! Gus just wants to stab someone in the face. He's like, the fuck is this nobility? Yeah, I know. It's just kind of like, yeah, I'm happy for my friends, but fuck this whole, like, I'm noble shit. I just want to fight and stab. What are you doing, little girl? What are you doing?
常任式が済めばグリフィスは白鵬将軍、 鷹の段は白鵬騎士団か。
ガッツ、出ていくのか。クロウがやっと実を結びかけてる。鷹の段はこれからじゃないか。
もう決めちまったことだからな。このままあいつの夢に埋もれるわけにはいかねえんだ。
不満でもあるのか。
あるわけねえよな。俺たちは旧国の英雄だぞ。もうすぐ貴族の仲間入りよ。カビくせえ兵者とおさらばだぜ。大ボケ野郎だぜ。血の滲む思いをしてやっと手に入れたものをお前は捨てちまおうってんだからな。
俺は出会っちまったんだ。自分に振り向かせたいと思う奴に。だが高みを目指すあいつは俺には眩しく映った。もうごめんなのさ。あいつの夢の中であいつを見上げてるのは。俺は自分で手にする何かであいつの横に並びたい。俺はあいつにだけは舐められるわけにはいかねえんだ。
グリフィスの横に並ぶだ？バカ言ってんじゃねえ！あいつは特別なんだよ。俺たちとは違うんだ。貴様がその地位にいられんのはグリフィスあったればこそだろうが。
地位や階級には興味ねえ。俺が欲しいのはもっと別の、自分で勝ち取る何かだ。
それがガキのたわごとだってんだよ。そんなもんが簡単に見つかりゃ誰も苦労しねえよ。夢をつかめんのはほんの一握りの人間なんだよ。大抵は現実と折り合いをつけてなんとかやっていくもんなんだ。
俺はさ、昔から何でも漕ぎようにこなせる方だったけど、どれも一番にはなれなかった。それで決めたのさ。自分でなれないなら一番になれそうな奴の下につこうって。最初から何も欲しがらない奴なんていないさ。でも誤解すんなよ。結構気に入ってんだ俺。今の自分の立場もさ。見つかるといいな、お前の何かっての。
Judo being the supportive one. Like the only fucking supportive one is like the younger. He's not really a kid, but the younger one. Okay. Give me a moment. I'm gonna go walk the pups real quick, and then I will be back as soon as I can. So maybe 5 minutes. Alright. I was walking, Pops. Oh shit. Me and Tickle did the same thing. Alright, let's see. What are we doing? Oh. Bye. Never mind. I'm not back yet. Coffee.
お前、キャスカとは一体どうなってんの？
ああ、なんだそりゃ。
二人が崖から落ちた一件以来、ずいぶん親密な仲になったみたいじゃないの？
まあ、あいつとは、いろいろあったからな。なんだよ、その目は。高野団の古株なら誰でも知ってることだろう。あいつはグリフィスが。
キャスカは、グリフィスとは一緒になれない。多分。
え？
グリフィスは何一つ持たないところから大将軍の座に上り詰めた。でも、あいつは止まらない。あいつの求めるもの。到達点はただ一つだからな。いくら大将軍と言っても所詮は軍人さ。それ以上のものではありえない。切り札が必要なんだ。何か最後の一押しをする。
Enter Charlotte. Like literally and theatrically.
お姫様さ。シャルロット姫をいただいちまうのが、グリフィスにとって野望を叶える一番の近道。そして、ただ一つの方法だ。グリフィスは今や天下の白鵬将軍。旧国の英雄だ。決してシャルロット様と比べたって見劣りしたりはしない。偶然にも、シャルロット様に次ぐ第二王位継承者のユリウス将軍と、その息子のアドニス様は、今は亡き者だし。ガッツ？
How did that happen?
いや、まあいっか。
ガッツ、このことはみんなに口外しないでくれ。あいつらを信頼してないわけじゃない。高野団は運命共同体だからな。だが、あいつらには、俺の薄汚い部分はあまり見せたくない。あいつらには、登っていく感覚だけでいい。ガセツのお前には付き合ってもらうぜ。とことん。
お前、どう思ってんだ？キャスカのこと。抱きたいとか思ったことないの？
俺は、あいつはいい女さ。戦場で背中を任せられる女なんてそうはいない。でも、あいつは俺にとって女というより、戦友なんだ。だから、いや、違う。あいつが見つめているのはグリフィスだから。だから、今は今の俺じゃ、ダメなんだ。
そっか。お前なら結構脈あると見てたんだけどな。
I wonder how they're gonna do the intermission. Because there was like a pause between what happens to Griffith versus him coming back. Like, we'll see. I guess we'll see what happens. It's probably gonna come up here soon anyway. Pretty sure it has to. It's gotta come up here soon. Gus believes now that he must become Griffith's equal to be his friend. So he resolves to depart from the Band of the Hawk. But Griffith won't have it. It'd be funny if you could, like, play as Casca and fight in this scenario. I don't know why, but it would just be interesting. And non-canon.
出て行くのか？
ああ。
高野団も抜けるつもりなのか？
すまねえ。
じゃわかんないよ。鷹の段はガッツにとっても家族同然のはずじゃないか。
やめとけリッケルト。大の男が決めたことだ。黙って行かせてやろう。
世話になったな。グリフィス。
あの時言ったはずだ。お前は俺のものだとな。俺はこれでお前を勝ち取った。お前の戦場もお前の死も、すべて俺のものだ。俺の手の中から出ていきたいというなら、あの時と同じ。剣で自分をもぎ取っていけ。
笑ってじゃあなってわけにはいかねえのか。マジらしいな。
待ってよ。二人とも本気なの？仲間同士で切り合うつもり？
どいてるキャスカ。邪魔すんじゃねえ。
It's like it's the first time that Guts has been like at peace. I want my another sub weapon, like a gun hand. It just turns to a 1v1. 1v1 D dust. Definitely need those. Sorry, I gotta go to the shop before we fight. You can only do it to 10? Okay. Well, might as well max it out, right? Oh no. You can do it past... What? Okay, well, whatever. That's fine. Rising up. We'll do this one more. Oh, somebody home? Oh. That's easy enough. This is such a Muso game. It makes you fight for every stat point. Yeah, I know. Midland succeeds in retaking Doldry. Peace was made with Tudor, and 100 Years' War came to an end. Upon their return to Wyndham, the royal captain of Midland, the members of the Band of the Hawk, are hailed as heroes. Guts feels that he needs to become Griffith's equal to be his friend, and having done his part serving under Griffith, resolves to leave the Band of the Hawk, but Griffith won't have it. This is really all Griffith's doing, though. That's the sad part, is that had he not said that stupid shit to Charlotte, it just wouldn't have went downhill from here. But that's fine, we'll kill him. I meant we'll defeat him.
切り合いで始まり、切り合いで終わる。それもいい。俺にしてみりゃ上出来だ。お前にとって俺は血を流すくらいの価値はまだあるってことだもんな。
Oh wow, he just...
生きたいのか。そんなに俺の手の中から出ていきたいのか。ダメだ、ダメだ。許さない。引かせない。
ガッツは強い。だけどグリフィスならきっとあいつを止められる。そう。
I got a whiny puppy now.
また今まで通りに。私は望んでいる。いてほしいと。あいつにいてほしいと。
What's the matter, bud?
望んでいる。
まるで敵でも見るような目だな。 当然か。
Oh.
恨まれたって文句は言えねえ。だがよ、それでもたとえお前に憎まれても裏切り者扱いされようと。だからよ、だから行くぜ。お前は俺の。
腕の一本でも切り落とされりゃ目が覚めるだろ、あのバカも。
そううまくいくかな。ガッツの剣は常に生死の境で鍛え上げた、いわば修羅の。
I'm so strong.
やはりグリフィスの表情にいつもの余裕がない。二人の力は拮抗している。
みんなどうしたんだ。切り合いだぞ。止めなきゃ。
二人の問題だ。俺たちが口を挟むことじゃない。忘れちまったのか。剣で取られたら剣で取り返す。それが傭兵の俺。
Got him. Fucking Lubu here. Yep. You are defeat.
じゃあな。
グリフィス。ガッツ。
Fucking what? You knew this was gonna happen.
大丈夫。道端で石ころにつまずいたようなものさ。つまらない。小さなことだよな。お前の行きたいところはもっとはるか遠いんだろう。だから、大丈夫。立てるよ。そして歩き出すさ。すぐに。
It's always a pretty good quote to harken back to. Result. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This scene.
せっかく平和になったのに。一体どうなさったのです？こんなことが知れたら大変な騒ぎになりますわ。
すみません。このような非礼、やはり許されることではありませんね。すぐに。
お会いしたかった。グリフィス様がご出立されてから私、ずっと怖くて。戦場から悪い知らせが届くのではないかと、毎日そればかり。どれだけご無事をお祈りしたことか。神が願いをお聞き届けくださったのですわ。ごめんなさい。安心してたら涙が。
ごめんなさい。God, it's fucking. All right, fade to black, please. We know what's happening. Feeling a titty.
怖いのですか?
There's nudity somewhere in this. it may be here. Oh my god, come on. We get it. Of course you are, Bob. They doink. We understand. This is part of Griffith's downfall because he dives off the fucking deep end.
恐ろしいことも悲しいこともみんな火にくべてしまえばいい。
Yeah, that's good. It's pretty good, Mom. It's a little bit deeper. Like there's a shit ton of mature subject in regards with it, but
なんだろうね、グリフィス。急にこんなところに招集かけてさ。
軍事教練だろ、抜き打ちの。
でも何の装備もいらないって。
じゃあ野掛けでもやろうってんだろ。そりゃ中段に勝ってこの方まともに戦はしてねえが。だからってこんな。
I'd say watch it at some point in time, Bob.
昨日もとうとう帰ってこなかったし、やっぱりショックだったのかな。
This is where, well, not immediately, but it's gonna get kind of nutty roughly soon.
それにしても遅いな、グリフィス。
敵襲！やはり下船の地は現れぬか。誰だけ目をかけてやったのに思い上がりよって。なんだお前も仲間も全て。
I gotta go get the puppy. I'll be right back.
おかしいと思っていました。政略結婚は乱世の常。しかし、シャルロット姫には少しも婚礼の噂がない。
何を？
抱きたいのですか、シャルロット様を。いえ、あなたが抱いてほしいのでは。
黙れ！
すげえなおめえ。これだけ責められて声一つ立てねえなんて。ほら感動しただ。お、なんだこれ。面白い。オラにくれろ。ああ、もったいねえ。落としちまった。
They really show you a lot through this game, honestly. They hit all the key parts to this. Come on. more.
旧国の英雄は重罪人と名を変え、白い鷹は地へと落ちた。忘れていた。傍らに剣がないと、どうにも不安で落ち着かないこの感覚。もしかして俺はまた、二度と手に入らないかけがえのないものを自分から捨てちまおうとしてるんじゃないのか。そもそもグリフィスのあの言葉を聞いて思いついたこと。これで自分の意志で歩き出したと言えるのか。さっき
やはり歯車は回り始めたか。もがく者よ、心をするがよい。
ゾッとか。いや違う。しかしこれは奇妙な現実離れしたこの感覚は。
これより1年の後、食の時、貴様と貴様の友ら、今は見えざる肉なき肉の者ども、そしてその大たらん貴様の半身がかの地に集う時、貴様の上に人の身では決してあがないきれぬ狂気の豪雨、死の嵐が吹き荒れるであろう。だが心するのだ、もがく者よ。貴様はムクロよりいでて、泥の中で死より始まりし者。誰よりも死に近く、それゆえ死より逃れる術に長けている。もがき、挑み、あがく。それこそが死と対峙する者の唯一の剣。夢忘れぬことだ。
何者だてめえ。なぜ俺のことを。
絶望の淵で折れた剣を手に立ち上がる者のみが、あるいは。
待て。
マティ。
幻か。ドクロの騎士。
A new outfit. Sweet. Heavily armored horse. Oh, I got an achievement. Separate ways. I guess there's not really an event that he can watch. Guts leaves the band of the Hawk and begins his lone journey. One day, he is ambushed by a band of thieves. No way he is going to let them take anything of his. As always, Guts has a stance wielding, or takes a stance wielding his greatsword and fucks. Let's go to the shop real quick. Yeah, there's always a shop. Duh. Yeah, fuck it. Guts wins the duel against Griffith, leaving behind the band of the Hawk, with whom he has traveled for 3 years. He sets out on a lone journey to burn bright beside the great flame that is Griffith. It is not enough to simply simply help Griffith pursue his dream. Guts sets out and begins his training to find his own dream, his own reason to fight. One day he is attacked by bandits, and brandishing his worn sword, he remembers his days as a mercenary. Time to die, everybody! Remember, there's no fucks given here. Bye. I'm gonna show him how powerful I am. Give me all your stuff. He almost hit me in my butt. What? Word. I gotta fucking get this one now too? Come on.
もっと気張れよ。張り合いがね。
I'm trying to think of what that music reminded me of all of a sudden. I like that combo. Hey, my horse! Just gather them all up. Let's go to that lieutenant. Excuse me. You guys are not worth my time. Can I push him off the cliff? Alright, fuck it. No, you don't need any help. This'll just be my entire base. Start run this dude in the wall while juggling him. They're shaken by my might. Come here. Where you guys going? Oh, the thief leader, not the thief leader. Don't teach me a lesson. There's all of you. Not all of you at once. You don't need help. You don't need help at all. You're fine. Are you kidding me? More of you? I guess that means I gotta kill more of you. It's a shame. It's so satisfying. Speedy horse. Alright, let me hop off this. Whee! Alright, that's my base now. Bye, friends. Is that guy just gonna Fuck it.
てめえそんなに死体か。
Yeah, yeah. It's easy being guts. I like how they all forget to fight and just run. Ah! What?
こいつもだいぶ傷んじまったな。早いとこ直さねえと。
Finding a blacksmith?
おめえ、剣士か
Oh yeah.
ああ、そんなところだ。
剣を出せ。俺はゴド。
ゴド。
おめえの剣の面倒を見てやる。
エリカだよ。よろしくね。
Amalgamate. Godo was with you the entire time. He's been in your heart. The Golden Age Arc Part 3. Guts isolates himself in the mountains to train. Suddenly, cries for help echo from the distance. Taking this as part of the training, Guts races towards the voice. Guts is... How do I... Okay. Maybe I can level up other people, I guess. Yeah, I guess I can't. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Whatever. I'm gonna keep playing. Keep murdering. Gutsuru!
ねえ、死んじゃうよ。こんなの続けてたらいつか本当に死んじゃうったら。
そうか？
ねえ、どうしてこんな無茶なことするの？剣の練習ってさ、こんなことまでやんなくちゃいけないの？私やだな。だって痛そうだもん。
どうだかな。だけど、俺をぶっ飛ばしたやつはこんなもんじゃなかった。もっと。
はあ、それって人間？
うん。ちょっと違うかな。
怪獣？
まあそんなとこか。
ガッツ、そいつとまた戦いたいんだ。やめた方がいいよ。怪獣じゃさ、やられちゃうよ。
そうかな。
じゃあ勝てるの？
さあ、どうだろうな。
どっちなのねえ。
Shut up, Erica. Just shut up. Let me just do my thing, okay? Just shut up. Amalgamating accessories allows you to strengthen select accessory stats by using up accessories you no longer need. Oh, I'm glad I didn't sell any. Besides strengthening the accessory, skill levels can be combined. Let's fucking do it. Aerials in the sky. Yeah, I don't really give a shit about equine because I'm usually hopping off to fuck shit up anyway, so... Can I afford this? Alright, well, I thought it was doing nothing for a little bit there about adding all those, so... Let's do that. I have so much extra junk now. I could just kind of slam into this bad boy. I think I want to stack my attack up. But technique. Yep. Now we're gaming. Alright, what else can I do? Can I do anything with this one? Luck up. Alright, I'm sure there's like better ways to combine these things, but it's fine. Let's just do that. And what's the last one we need to do? This one? I don't want to screw over my technique. Might do that. Can I can. Defense up, attack up. Yeah. And then... Okay. That looks good. At least good enough for me. Oop, not prep. Here we go! Far away in a secluded mountain pass, Guts finds a blacksmith named Goto, who is living with his daughter Erica, and decides to stay with them for a while. He must become stronger. Guts felt that by crossing swords with monstrous foes, he will finally be able to see his own goal. During his training, Guts hears a cry for help. A band of thieves is attacking the innocent people of the nearby village. Fuck 'em. Let me help you, citizen. You just fucking hit me. I'm coming, citizen. Alright, that's you. This is fucking... Get out of here. Oh, another one. Hey, little girl. Take a seat. I'm taking the bases and whatnot because I think I need to. This will help prevent reinforcements, I'm sure. Howard, what? Fuck it. This will clear him out. You nutsacks get off of these citizens, please. I'm trying, dude. You would think when a motherfucker comes in, I'm rescuing you assholes. You're welcome. Fuck it. All I have to do is go to there. Jesus. Come on, asshole leader. Let's go over to this place so I can murder both of you guys at once. Ready? You ready for this? Ready? There's a couple of you. Ready again? Where you going, asshole? Who needs to block? Just fucking murder. That's, I mean, really. Excuse me, guys. I don't understand what's blocking. What defense? You just came in and murdered everybody. There's no defense in that. It's all good. Our offense held. That might be good to have. No guard, only murder. That's how I felt this entire game so far. And you know what? I love it.
なあ、ゴド。あんたなんでこんな山奥で一人鍛冶屋なんてやってんだ？
一人じゃねえ。娘もおる。あの裏山はいい鉱石が取れるんじゃ。なんでも昔は妖精が住んどったんだと。
ふん。ゴド。あんたなんで鍛冶屋やってんだ？好きが鍛冶屋。
さあな。
What?
おりゃ歩くのより前に元能を握っとった。好きだ嫌いだ考える前に目の前の鉄を叩いとった。あとは今よりうまく今よりいいものをと考えているうちにあっという間にこの年になっちまった。簡単なもんよ。生まれてこの方、俺はずっと鉄をぶったたいとる。 生きてる奴がなんで生きとるんだかわからんくらい。俺にもなぜぶったたいとるのかわからんわい。そう。
The ladies.
一つ鍛冶屋やっとって気に入っとるもんがある。火花だ。火花はいい。吸い込まれる。まるで命。
Alright, so hear me out. Goto looks frightening well, I would say Andre looks frighteningly like Goto. Am I wrong? I don't think I am. I don't think I'm wrong. First merc work in a while. The village is being terrorized by bandits of thieves who are fighting out a turf war. Guts helps the villagers and is then hired to finish the job and put an end to the thieves. It has been a while since Guts put his mercenary skills to use. Well, I mean, yeah, Andre from Dark Souls. Blacksmith Andre. The one if you piss off, he'll fucking drop kick you. Goto looks very, very similar to him, obviously. We all know that Soels took a lot of inspiration from Zerky Poo. In the middle of a battlefield with his sword in hand, it was and has always been the way Guts lived his life. Crossing swords with formidable enemies is what makes him feel alive. This may be different from Griffith's big dream, but to fight, to clash steel, to make sparks fly, this is the dream Guts has once and for all chosen for himself. Guts is hired by some villagers to take care of some thieves. It appears there are two gangs of thieves who are fighting out a bloody turf war. Guts is eager to try his sword against these thugs. Got the base. Oh my god. That shit's funny. Eradicate the thieves' army. I mean, that's kind of what I'm doing, right? Alright, fuck it. Let's go. Let's go, boys and girls. What are you doing, asshole? Alright, who do I have to kill? This guy? Alright, let's go. Let's get all of you at once. You look frighteningly similar to the other gentleman that I murdered. Fuck it, let's go. Come on, let's go. Got him. Alright, let's get all of them piled up. Come on, this way. Let's go. Because I want this guy too. I want everybody to be nice and lined up. Come on. Alright, fuck it. You're just gonna run away from me, I guess. Got him in stun locked. Alright, no more reinforcement bullshit. Hey, little girl. What are you doing? What are you doing, little girl? What? I'm coming.
やるっきゃねえよな。
仕事だ。気合い入れろ。
Leave her the fuck alone. Squeaky, squeaky, squeaky. This chick needs to fucking hurry up. A woman? Really? Leave her alone. Come on. Come on, guys. Alright. Okay. Okay. Here we go. You guys want to be turned into preserves, that's fine. I'm not gonna say no. I'll just follow her. Go. Go, dummy. This is my life now. Yay! No problem. Let's just... What's the terms? Murder everybody in sight. Make things wilder, huh? Pretty sure that's what I'm doing. This dude's running right by me. I mean, if they're gonna keep coming to me, I'll just keep swinging. Guts reach 1,000 kills.
また変なあだ名つけられちまうな。一つでも多くの首を落とす。なんだよあれは。
What are you doing? Eh? I don't know why I went up that way. Alright, that's where it is. I'm like, I couldn't find him for the life of me. I don't know why. It's a dream for Guts. Swinging his big fucking sword. Only gotta kill 25 more. Let's go. Let's go. I'm gonna kill this guy first, though. Fuck it. Well, I'm still fighting, so. Oh my god. Who else? Who? Oh. Too strong. That's what they say about my odor. I shower every day. That dude was only one hit left. Give me that. Alright, boyos. Technique is where it's at. Yeah, he was split in half. He was split in half. good retreating AI there. Running into a fucking catapult or a whatever that was. Boarding plank mechanism thingy. Bessie Bess.
夢。こいつは俺にとって夢なのか。
俺は俺の国を手に入れる。
違う。グリフィスの言うような具体的で到達点のはっきりしたものじゃ。高みで輝いているものじゃない。そう。これはもっと身近で、俺の体の一部みたいなものだ。
It's a very Bushido way of thinking.
数えきれないほどの一瞬、命をつなぎ。こいつがあったから、俺はまた七に身を投げた。俺の生きてきたほとんどの時間、こいつは体の一部として傍らにあった。忘れられないこと、忘れられない人間。その全てを俺はこの切っ先で、握った塚を通して感じてきた気がする。いや、実際手で触れたものより、剣で触れたものの方が何千倍も多いんだ。まるで俺が生きてきたこと、そのものじゃねえか。
自分の命そのものが一瞬目の前で弾けているような気がする。
火花。俺も惹かれているのかな。火花に。
Don't look at me
剣
like
と
that,
剣が
guts.
弾き出す小さな火花。自分と相手の生きてきた時間、すべての思い、存在そのものをぶつけて散らすちっぽけな光。命が見えているんだ。俺は剣を振る。グリフィスの言う夢ってのとは違うかもしれないが、誰のためでもない。流されるわけでも、今度こそ自分の意志で、自分の一瞬の火花を弾き出すために。
Oh no! Did it fucking crash? Oh no. Son of a bitch, it did. Fuck, that sucks. Let's see. Yeah, crash on the save screen. That's not great. Well, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I really like the story. Like the idea behind Guts trying to find his own purpose and comparing it to someone who has different goals than him, because I don't know where this is gonna load me. Because it's like, obviously people have their different aspirations, and something like what Griffith wants, it's like the promise of, at least in like an American society, the promise of being rich and famous and powerful and blah 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 blah. Some people just don't want that shit. Oh, did this not? But of course, like, to Guts, he thought that was a purpose at one point in time, at least, you know, for someone else living their own dream and kind of using people to that same degree. I don't know, it's just interesting. Fuck. Yeah, we'd have to redo this. Alright, well, I'll redo this later. I'm going to, because I'm hungry. It's 9 o'clock and I haven't had much food today. I'm going to go ahead and call it for myself. And then Thursday? Yeah, Thursday I'll probably stream again, because it's been about 3 hours and 40 minutes. I'll probably play this again more on Thursday, but I've been really enjoying it. It's been super fun so far, and I haven't had too many errors or anything like that for a game that's probably, what, 7 years old, something like that. I think maybe a little bit older. It's been good, because I enjoyed the original Golden Age arc, so it's interesting to see how the game presents it. And then I'm really wanting to see, after the eclipse happens, everything that fucking hits the fan at that point in time, and how the gameplay kind of evolves from there. So I want to see who's on right now. If Jerp is on, I don't know if he is streaming tonight. I was gonna raid him. I don't think he is. I think he's probably just chilling. Alright, well, everybody scatter to the masses. You guys have fun. I'll see you later on this coming week, very likely. And then we'll talk and have fun. But I'll see you guys later. Bye!